When there's money to be made selling fish and animals in the city, the temptation is strong to overhunt and overfish. What's more, it's poorly regulated, unless they're farmed instead. Paiche are one of the largest freshwater fish on the planet. Harvesting fish on Santiago's farm starts by getting into the water, stretching a huge net across the pond. The big ones are trapped. They're not happy about it. Gradually, the immense fish get corralled in shallow water.
You gotta come, you gotta come.
There's one. Uno y dos. Take that three. Whoa! All right, so these fish are covered with thick armor plating.
Voltea por acá. Cuidado con tu cara, Santi. Good job.
Beautiful.
Okay. Watch your head, okay? Andrew, watch your head.
My God. By Paiche standards, this is actually a small one that we'll throw back.
Uno, dos, tres.
Same with this one.
Whoa!
You all right? Not this little fella.
Beautiful animal, huh?
Gorgeous.
She knows, huh? Or
And
he knows.
Yeah, they're as big as I am. Look at the coloring on that. Just one of these massive fish can yield hundreds of pounds of meat. Paiche's high-fat content keeps it moist and flavorful. It also has a thick collagen layer under its outer skin.
One interesting thing is this fish has a double skin.
Did you?
And you can see it here.
Yep.
So this is one, and underneath there's another skin.
Incredible. The outer skin can be crispy, while keeping the inside moist and delicate.
And it's hard to dry it when you cook it. So even if you're a bad cook, you can make a good paiche, you know?
Yeah, because even I can cook this stuff. We're cooking with a shaman and eating from his ancient medicine pot. Juana Galliano, who researches the sociology of rainforest tribes, offered to go with me. Down this path lives one of the last living links to centuries of jungle wisdom. His name is Mariano. He's lived in the jungle all his life, practicing an ancient way of being, where medicine, religion, and food blend into one reality. He carries within him an enormous storehouse of tribal knowledge about how to use the resources of the rainforest. All of that may be lost forever when he's gone. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Ask him how long he's been living here.
12 de marzo.
He was born here, and he was born in 1942.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell him he looks like a very young man. What's his secret?
Las medicinas de la selva, nuestro Padre del cielo.
The medicines of the forest and the pure water that was left by God.
He calls it tucupi. It's also a food staple. Helped by his sister, he starts with starch extracted from manioc root, allowed to stand and ferment for a couple of days. Oh, it's got a wonderful sour sort of quality to it. It smells very strong. Oh! There's no one way for making tucupi. Different families hand down their own traditional recipes. Mariano's starts by adding fresh fish to the ferment. The color is the blood coming out of this thing, just fantastic. As it's warming, it's just coming out of the head. The fish will cook for hours, sometimes days, becoming a gelatinous mass flavoring the starch. We have to collect the rest of the ingredients, which include wasp larvae and some very big, very aggressive ants. The Amazon has some of the biggest species of ants on the planet, including these leafcutter ants. A colony of these voracious creatures can take out 2,000 pounds of foliage a year. That is amazing. Look at that, the destruction. To sample them fresh, Mariano grabs each ant from behind and breaks off the heads. The front end bites, the back half doesn't.
Hay que matarlo.
How is it? Does it taste like anything?
It tastes like milk inside their rear end.
body's crunchy, a little more citrusy. So how many do we need for the tucupi?
¿Cuántas necesitamos para el tucupi?
Lo menos unos 100.
We need 100.
We need 100. Ah!
With one of the most painful of all insect bites, I have just aroused the wrath of a whole colony.
Oh my God, look at my shoe.
What I told you.
Covered in the big ones. Ah!
I should have listened when Juana said to wear boots.
Oh,
They got mad, you say.
son of a...
These ants draw blood when they bite.
¿Qué está allá?
He says it's enough now.
There are a couple of wasp nests full of larvae in this tree.
This is either the coolest thing I've done in a long time or the stupidest thing.
Lighting a cluster of dried leaves on a stick, he creates heat and smoke that's supposed to keep the wasps at bay while we knock down the nest.
Look at that.
The larva, yeah.
Mariano's jungle medicine stew calls for more mature wasp larvae. He's collecting a few more chunks of nest when Juana puts her weight on the fire stick that held our GoPro. It seems sturdy.
Whoa!
But isn't.
Well, that was a surprise.
Oh, Dios santo.
Mariano is bleeding from a cut on the top of his head. The production crew steps up to help, but of course, a medicine man has his own remedy.
It has a little bit of alcohol and something they use here, the shamans use here. Flowered water, it's called.
Y por eso en el dentro de la selva no hay peligro.
And this is why inside the forest there is no danger, because you have the medicine.
¡Yay!
Fantastic. You're gonna live then.
¿Qué dice eso?
Once the healing is complete, we can select the best larva from our pieces of wasp nest.
He's trying to sting the tip of my knife. Another day or two and this guy would have been flying around. When they're like that, they taste like corn. Want to try one?
Let's see.
They're very good. They're very sweet. Right?
It's like flower petal
Yeah.
with fat.
The stew has been cooking since this morning. Tucupi can keep cooking for days before adding the wasps and ants, or not.
Okay, now they're getting frisky. They can feel the heat of the fire. Actually, the smoke is what I think is driving them crazy. Here we go. Here we go. For Mariano, what flavor do all the grubs and bugs and ants add to it? Because I know that there is an actual flavor component to this for him.
This is more than healthy food, it's a spiritual medicine. It's an idea found in lots of ancient cultures that we take on the attributes of the animals we eat.
It's a flavor that gives strength to your body, because the ant lives inside the soil, the earth. They have no fear of anything.
No, of course.
How was larva? Because I could see it.
So delicious. And the little bits of fish in there. This batch is so good, and it doesn't really have... There's an ant. You want an ant?
Yeah.
It doesn't really have a bad flavor component in it. It's sweet and piquant, and it's got that little Worcestershire umami earthiness from the ants.
Okay. This is it.
It's good. When they cook, they contribute a toasty, earthy, foresty
I believe
flavor to it.
Eating this food in this place, suddenly, there's nothing separating us from people who were here 1,000 years ago.
It's moments like this that you just want to remember every single second, what the air smelled like, the temperature, who you were with, where it happened, because this is time traveling.